Good morning, as we're sitting here at LTV on this beautiful Thursday morning, September 18th, year 2024, here with the Hello Hello Show. And my name is Haim Mizrahi, continuing with the tradition of public access and the tradition of the Hello Hello Show that's been on the air since 1980. Of course, not to fail to mention the contribution by Fraser Dougherty, Francis Ann, then, of course, the likes of you, happens to be many likes of you that make it your business to enhance and fortify the concept of public access knowingly and unknowingly, directly and indirectly. May you be blessed for this effort, and you know that you put your soul into it and your goodwill, and then again, you'll be amazed how much of what we experience here in this community and in this country, for that sake, the fact that we are kind of blended into the availability that common sense and decency provide, and rightfully so, for us to be on the alert and on the go, and on guard to protect this wonderful concept that allows us to be who we are, and again, decent human beings, decent people with wonderful, controversial, unlimited patterns of thought and desires, and of course, the artistic process that governs the entire thing. So this concept, public access, is actually a wonderful skeleton and base and stage that carries the burden of the maintenance involved in maintaining this way of life. And I call it a way of life because it's rightfully so, that indeed it is. And as I said, we're sitting here, and actually, I continue with the tradition of public access. Not only the show, and this particular show, there was a um, 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 uh, uh, what's the word that I'm looking for? Was it configured into becoming uh, the wonderful entity that it stands for today, in the garage of Fraser Dougherty, God bless his soul, in East Hampton, um, late 70s, early 80s, that he started this show called the Hello Hello Show. It used to be a 2-hour show. So there was a 2 hour, 7 to 9 in the morning live, and then midnight to 2 a.m. a rerun of that. So it's 4 hours, every cycle of 24 hours, that the Hello Hello Show was on the air, starting at 1980 until 2007, actually. And that was like 8 years after I took over. Actually, I didn't take over it. Fraser came to me and suggested that I should continue and the show, because he kind of wanted to venture. He was actually 80 years old, and he wanted to no, it was actually 77. He wanted to venture into another realm, layer, stage, of what public access stands for, and there's so many avenues that he was engaged in. And at first I was reluctant because it spelled the fact that I need to be up at 6 o'clock, which I am anyway, but up and rush to go to LTV in those days. And the commitment was much greater than the eye can meet. So he worked on me uh, very efficiently, and so I found myself, before I know it, already in the thick of it. And now, speaking of about 25 years later, and 5,000 shows at least, I dare say we have close to 4,000 interviews. That's just me. And then, what about Fraser Dougherty? So you easily look at 10,000 shows between Fraser Dougherty and myself. And not that the numbers are so important, but they are. And we want to dig in deep into the understanding of what it really means. It's important to be aware and give yourself some credit on the behalf of your effort, and especially when you have so much to show for. I wanted to start this morning with just a small piece that caught my eye, and and I thought that I can just offer a. This is number 31. Um, I don't know. I'm just like sometimes I wish that there was someone who could read these things the way they should be read, rather than um, some unpredictable version of some kind of improvisational instance. So, in the grand symphony of existence, where galaxies swirl and stars shimmer, there pulses a rhythm, a groove, straight from the depth of the universe. This cosmic beat, woven into the very fabric of reality. It speaks to the core of human desires, echoing through time and space. Within the complex Within the complex tapestry of human life, there exists an undeniable yearning, a primal urge that connects us to the vast expanse of the cosmos. It drives our actions, fuels our ambitions, and shapes our identities. This yearning manifests in countless forms, from the simplest pleasures to the loftiest dreams. Yet, behind the cosmic s- spectacle, there's a contradiction, a penchant for the trivial. In our quest for fulfillment, we often find ourselves ensnared into petty desires, seduced by the allure of fleeting indulgences. We get lost in the pursuit of superficial wants, neglecting the deeper needs of the soul. I mean, this is somewhat dramatic, but there's some innocence into it, some simplicity, yet it causes you to think in ways that maybe can make you feel uneasy a bit or something. Um, but who can claim immunity to this temptation? Who hasn't felt the Pull, the pool of petty cravings? I love it. The pool of petty cravings, the allure of instant gratification, where all susceptible products of our experiences, shaped by the ebb or flow of life's currents. Consider, then, the journey of someone intimately acquainted with the depths of human longings, forged in the crucible of their own upbringing. Their story is marked by decisive moments, by struggles and triumphs that have sculpted them into the complex beings they are today. You, dear observer, witness the struggles of this individual understanding. You, dear observer, witness the struggle of this individual, understanding the complexities of their existence, the scars of victories, and define their narrative. Yet, before life's chaos, there is a glimmer of hope, a resilience that defies the odds. Despite the challenges, there's a capacity for growth, for um, hmm, capacity for growth, no transformation waiting to be embraced. So let's dance to the cosmic rhythm, dear traveler, embracing the complexities of our humanity, acknowledging the beauty in our flaws, and finding solace in the shared experience of being alive. Uh, and then the second version would be pretty much a in the grand symphony of existence, galaxies swirl, stars shimmer, and beneath it all, there's a pulse, an ancient rhythm syncing with the very essence of being. This groove stretching across the expanse of the cosmos reverberates through the human spirit, steering desires, ambitions, and dreams that align with forces beyond our understanding. Amid the intricate dance of our lives, we're driven by yearning that is as vast and enigmatic as the universe itself. It propels us forward, connecting the personal with the cosmic, making us strive, seek, and build. This longing whispers through our every breath, urging us toward meaning, towards something greater. Yet, even in the face of such magnificence, we stumble, we falter, caught in the web of trivial pursuits, distracted by the shimmer of instant gratification. The grand call of the universe is often drowned out by the noise of fleeting ones, and we forget the deeper cravings of the soul, those that guide us towards fulfillment that transcends the surface. So, um, uh, uh, okay, let's see that. Yeah, and that's version number three. In the grand, overly dramatic symphony of existence, where galaxies ever so majestically swirl and stars desperately shimmer for attention, there's a beat, a cosmic groove, no less, spinning straight from the universe's VIP section, this intergalactic rhythm, apparently woven into the fabric of everything, because of course it is, speaks to the human condition, echoing through time, space, and whatever else it can find to be exist existentially existential existentially poetic about whatever else it can find to be existentially poetic about. And in this beautiful conv- uh, convoluted tapestry of life, we humans have this profound craving. It's primal, it's cosmic, it's basically written in the stars, right? We act like it's some deep mystical force driving upward toward greatness. But let's be real, it's also the same drive that makes us eat an entire pizza at 2 a.m. This yearning manifests in forms as complex and awe-inspiring as, say, a half-hearted scroll through social media or an existential crisis sparked by running out of coffee. But oh, the contradiction in this infinite universe of possibilities. We humans, small, fragile, occasionally brilliant, get sidetracked by dumbest the dumbest things while the cosmos is out there vibing with eternity. We're busy chasing fleeting thrills, droning in the glorious shallows of our petty desires because who needs soul deep fulfillment when you can have one more click, one more like, or one more piece of cake? Priorities. Indeed, priorities. Um, mm, there's another version. Uh, and in this vast and boundless symphony of life, where yon galaxies do whirl in mystic dance, and stars with trembling light do seek their place, there there beats a rhythm born to heavenly spheres, this cosmic pulse, the dots the that doth entwine itself with all that breathes and moves, doth speak unto heart of man, whispering desires too deep to main, too vast to comprehend. And lo, within the mortal coil, within the mortal coil of man, there lies a yearning, fierce and all-consuming, that binds him to the very firmament. It drives his deeds, it steers his soul, it shapes his fate, as doth the hand of some celestial scribe. In dreams he soareth high, beyond the reach of earthly bounds, yet in his waking hours he falleth prey to the base and fleeting fancies. For in this mortal toil it's often seen that man doth trade the heavens for a trifle, whilst the stars sing sweetly of eternity, he bends his ear to the siren call of vanity and ease. The golden fruit of wisdom falls to rot, whilst he doth pluck and withered branch of wanton whims. Ah, how quick he is to chase the fleeting shadow and leave the substance of his soul behind. I mean, you can go directions like forget about it and um, 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 what's the word? That's the word that I'm looking for. Challenge, yeah. Uh, this version, this version now. I'm going to read this like full of challenges. Uh, uh, let's see. I have to look for it. Um, I think I caught eternity by the tail. Oh my god. That's unbelievable. I just wanted to mention, by the way, that we're here on Thursday morning, September 18th, year 2024, and I'm just so early in the morning. I'm just allowing myself to experiment a little bit together with you. And I think that that's kind of the repetition of that which we yearn to change constantly. That which we yearn to change constantly, that comes to life and thrive by repetition. But it's not the repetition, it's the stubbornness of what repetition stands for, or what repetition is all about. Is the consistency of that stubbornness, or the consistency of repetition that is being achieved by plain and simple, straightforward uh, stubbornness. Oh, stubbornness. Oh boy, this is actually is okay. We don't want that to be disconnected, but yeah, and then you see actually the results are very promising, in a way, in more ways than one. So the challenging version, is that the challenging version? In the sympathy, in the symphony of existence, in the symphony of existence, one dares call it such. A primordial cadence permeates the void, oscillating between what is and what could be, weaving time and space into the fragile semblance of order we call reality. Yet this rhythm, this omnipresent thrum, is no mere backdrop but a mirror, reflecting the paradox of human longing, a yearning simultaneously profound and hollow, cosmically significant and tragically mundane. Within the labyrinthine corridors of human experience, we are not propelled by any divine directive, but by a desperate hunger, one that both connects and condemns us to the infinite. This urge, call it desire, ambition, or delusion, threads through the fabric of our choices, a force of nature disguised as free will, and yet, for all its cosmic pretension, it births the most trivial obsessions, the pursuit of comforts that neither sustain nor fulfill, the elevation of the ephemeral, of the expanse of the eternal. Herein lies the cruel jest, the contradiction. For while we stand at the precipice of infinity, teetering between teetering between dust and divinity, we choose time and again the path the path of least resistance, unsnared by the mundane, seduced by the temporal. The stars above burn with ancient purpose, yet we reach for the flicker of distraction in our hands. The weight of eternity becomes as light as the fleeting indulgences that occupy our minds, and so we are lost. Not in the grandness of the cosmos, but in our refusal to engage with it. Something dramatic and all this, and then you take actually the drama from the end that initially was talking about. The initial one was like, yet behind the cosmic spectacle, there's a contradiction, a penchant of the trivial in our quest for fulfillment. We often find ourselves ensnared by petty desires, seduced by the allure of fleeting indulgences. We get lost in the pursuit of superficial ones, neglecting the deeper needs of our soul. And then you go to uh, herein lies the cruel jest, the contradiction. For while we stand in the precipice of infinity, teetering between dust and divinity, we choose time and again the path of least resistance, ensnared by the mundane, seduced by the temporal. The stars above burn with ancient purpose, yet we reach for the flicker of distraction. In our hands, the weight of eternity becomes as light as the fleeting indulgences that occupy our minds. And so we are lost not in the grandness of the cosmos, but in our refusal to engage with it. So, yeah, there's too many mini conclusions that you want to go into, like a grand conclusion, but still you want to make it more like an uppercut that you didn't see coming, But the only thing you realize is that you're on the floor and you got to get up before the count of 10, something like this. Um, um, uh, I'm going to trick myself. Okay, let's see if it's going to work. So this is okay. I'm going to just read it one more time. Meaning this is the last version of stage one, and there are unlimited stages. You choose how many you want, but we already had four versions, and there it is, the pulse, faint but rising. It stirs somewhere deep, like the echo of the heartbeat, cosmic in its persistence. You have heard it. You've heard it before, haven't you? It's the rhythm that calls you back every time you hit the ground. But this time feels different, doesn't it? Two, you feel it pulling, that weight inside your chest, that hunger. You know it well. It wants more than just survival. It wants meaning, greatness, something bigger than just breathing. But here you are, still flat on your back, staring up at the stars as if they've gone all, as if they got all the answers. Three, get up? Easier said than done. You've been here before, haven't you? Stuck between wanting the and acting, between desire and will. But it's not a game anymore. The clock ticks, the count rises, and the floor beneath you feels colder with every second that slips away. Four. Maybe this time, right? Maybe this is the time you stay down after all. What's out there? More of the same? The same hollow victories? The same fleeting highs? You chase them like they matter, but you slip through the fingers every time. They slip through your fingers every time. So what's one more fall? Five. No, you know better. It's not the fleeting that matters. Not the superficial ones that pull you down. It's the deeper need. The one you ignore when you chase distractions. That's what has you pinned to the mat. Your own refusal to reach for something higher. Six. Feel that? That 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 tug in your chest? That's not just survival, that's purpose. It's a whisper down. It's a whisper now, but it's getting louder. And you, lying here, thinking it's too late. Well, you're wrong. You've got to count, sure, but count is not over yet. 7. You can stay down if you want. You can let the stars mark you from above, watching you down in your own inertia. Or you can rise. You can push through the pain, the weight, the doubt, because the rhythm isn't going to stop. Not for you, not for anyone. It keeps pounding, demanding that you make a choice. 8. Every muscle screams. Every thought tells you to stay down. But you've been here before, remember? And you got up. So why not now? Why let the count decide your faith when you can do it yourself? 9. It's time. You feel it. The ground beneath you is shaking now. The pulse quickening, matching your own. There's still a chance, a slim one, but it's there. One more push, one more breath. 10. Rise. And then the conclusion, just in the comforting zone, that is just a slight bit ahead of this kind of version of naivete, of feeling belong to a concept that it's the trivial. It's be strong, you're weak, be strong, or you're sad, be happy, or you're happy, be content. If you're content, be content about the fact that you're happy, be happy about the fact that you're happy. And oh, you're down, or get up. Or you're up, or get up higher, something like that. Um, uh, and then it just goes to show you actually how much you can. I'm going to challenge myself. Uh, if the answer is merely the echo of the question, then what does the question reveal? Perhaps it's the act of asking that births the answers. Or maybe the answer, already known, draws the question to itself. But if the answer comes first, then the question must have always been there, waiting to catch up, to justify its existence. In this circular chase, the answer isn't a resolution, but a continuation, a beckoning to ask again, deeper this time. The answer never really ends the search, it simply reframes the question until both dissolve into the space between them, where the real inquiry begins. So, the answer? It is simply the beginning. So this I did because of the slippery aspect of this version, a faint tremor in the quiet, nothing grand, nothing cosmic, just a flicker like the twitch of an eyelid, a twitch of an eyelid in the dark. It's not some divine cold, it's more like an itch, a disturbance under the skin. But you know it. It's it's the beginning of the question you keep trying to ignore. You've been there before. The ground, hard and unforgiving, seems familiar by now. You're not in a rush to get up, are you? There's there's comfort in inertia, in letting the world spin without you, while you play dead, eyes half closed. But it's there again, the itch, creeping into your consciousness. It's tempting to pretend it doesn't matter. It's tempting to pretend it doesn't matter. Maybe this is where you're supposed to be. There's a kind of peace in surrender, in letting the count roll over you. Who's watching anyway? But you can't shake it, can you? That feeling, that pull. Not urgent, just steady like a hum under the nose. Like a hum under the noise. And it's funny in a way. You'd think by now you'd have learned to make peace with this. But there's always something, a need, a question, a challenge. You feel it now, stirring, almost irritating in its persistence. Why can't you just rest? Why can't you stay down and let it end here? Because you know it doesn't end. And you know it doesn't end here. Even as you lie still, the world moves. You can almost hear it, the shuffle of time, the ticking away of moments, moments you thought you had control over. But there's no control. Not even your horizontal, pinned by your own weight. It's always like this, right? That hesitation, that moment when you think you've figured out a trick, maybe staying down is the way out. But then something small, something stupidly simple pushes against you, a memory, a promise, a half finished sentence. It whispers, not yet. The body betrays the mind before the mind knows that it's doing, before it knows what it's doing. A twitch, a shift in muscle, barely noticeable, but there it is. The pull, not grand, not glorious, just there. A choice as quiet as the dust settling around you. You could stay, but now that you've moved, you know that staying isn't an option. You thought this would be dramatic, some epiphany, some grand realization, but no, just a slow realization that getting up isn't heroic. It's inevitable. That's no fanfare, no sudden burst of strength, just a quiet rebellion of body that's too used to fighting gravity to to quit now. Almost there, and the irony isn't lost on you. This isn't triumph. It's just another round, another day, another rise. And stars as aren't watching. No crowd waits with bated breath. But there is that rhythm again. Faints. Faint but steady, pulling you upward like it always does. You're up, barely barely up, but up nonetheless. The count ends, moment passes, and you're standing for now. Uh, let's see if, yeah, so I think this is a nice conclusion. After all, we can truly, after all, what can truly be said, except that the answer and the question are intricately bound, like two dancers locked in perpetual motion. Neither leads, neither follows. The answer exists only because the question dares to be asked. And the question only lingers because the answer refuses to stand still. What can be said is that certainly is elusive. Each answer only deepens the question it claims to resolve, and the question it claims to resolve, what can be said that certainly is elusive. Each answer only deepens the question it claims to resolve. And so, what remains isn't clarity, but the realization that the answer, once found, was never the destination. It was merely a signpost pointing toward the next unknown. What can be said then? Is this it never ends? So let's see if we can be maybe just going back to basics. So if it never ends, perhaps the point isn't to arrive, but to continue asking, answering, asking again. The pursuit itself is the meaning and not the destination. We circle back, not to find closure, but to stay in motion. I love that. To be shaped by each new turn. So the question, the answer, they're not opposites or conclusions, but companions. And in that endless back and forth, maybe that's where we find what we're really looking for. Not the final word, but the ability to keep searching, to keep engaging, to keep moving forward. Um, but that's not satisfying. Well, actually, I'm going to second guess myself. Oh man. Woo! Ay, ay, ay. Let's explore the journey through the shadows of our deepest promises, searching for the essence that grants us life and upholds its value. I mean, here, it's like, it's amazing how you can find yourself realizing a breakthrough that actually, as it is in motion, widens every inch that it goes forward, regardless of essence now and breakthrough in verbal aspects and in the kind of surrealistic aspect of the tradition of poetry kind of thing, storytelling and whatnot. It's amazing. So you're going into, let's explore this journey through the shadows of our deepest promises, searching for the essence that grants us life and upholds its value. We stand at the edge of our darkest promises, where the truth of our existence reveals itself not in the light, but in the depth of our commitments. It is here, in the twilight of our most profound assurances, in the twilights, in the twilight of our most profound assurances, that we confront raw substance of what it means to live and to aspire. In the realm, we face the void of our own making, where the comfort surface level existence, the, where the comfort, where the comfort of surface level existence fades. It is within this darkness that we must delve, seeking the thread of authenticity that connects our deepest hopes with the reality of our lives. Here, the value of our promises is not determined by their visibility, but by their impact, their ability to transform the mundane into the meaningful. Our exploration through these shadows is not a quest for an easy resolution, but an acknowledgement of the complexity that defines our journey. Each step in this journey reaffirms the worth of our existence, not through grand achievements or external validations, but through the quiet, unyielding integrity of our intentions and actions. Thus, our darkest promises are not burdens, but beacons, guiding us towards version of ourselves both that is both more honest and more profound. They remind us. They remind us. Uh, they remind us that life's worthiness is maintained not by avoiding the shadows, but embracing them, finding in them the true measure of our enduring commitment to our deepest values. And now again, it's funny how as hard as you would want to stay away from the mundane and the predictable and the trivial and the cliche, it will catch up with you, especially and mainly because you are conscious of it and aware of it. So it works against you in the long run. That's what I learned to realize. Um, uh, I'm looking for. So, we want to introduce modernism into this, and it has like the what do I call it? I call it the prosaic punch. Actually, that's a good title for my next show. A prosaic punch. Ooh. Let's see. A prosaic punch. I'm actually working here together with you. Yeah. Is that the same as AIC? AIC. Why not? Here we go. Okay, so now here, introducing some modernism into it in order to cut loose uh, the creation of that, which is a burden. Turns out to be a burden, and in our line of work, we'd like to kind of avoid and altogether bypass any kind of burden or boredom, and therefore. So let us plunge into the abyss of our most audacious promises, where the essence of life breathes not in the fulfillment and illuminated certainty, but in the fertile obscurity of our grandest aspirations. It is in this crucible of shadow where the incandescent glow of superficiality fades to the insignificance that we confront the raw, unvarnished truth of our existence. Here in the shadow, chiaroscuro of our deepest convictions, the shimmer of fleeting comforts yields to the profound gravity of commitment. This is where the veneer of everyday life is stripped away, revealing the bare thread of what truly sustains us. Our promises, once mere whispers, now resonate with resonance that defies the mundane. This journey through the darkened expanse is not a search for simplistic answers or easy solace. It is a confrontation with the complexity of our modern selves, a collision between the immediate and the infinite. The extreme modernism of our time demands that we elevate the understanding, pushing past the banal of grasp, the radical truth of our existence. In this arena, the worth of our promises is measured by their capacity to transcend the ordinary, to spark the transformation from within. Our, explore, our exploration is less about finding a final destination and more about celebrating the relentless uh, dynamism of our pursuit. Each stride through this void propels us not forward static achievement, but towards the profound, radical engagement with our inner reality. This is where our darkest promises become the very fabrics of our existential worth, transforming not just our lives, but the very narrative of modern existence. In embracing this profound darkness, we discover that the essence of our lives is not found in avoidance, but in audacious engagement. It is in the relentless pursuit of these promises, through their transformative power and their call to higher purpose, that we maintain the integrity and worthiness of our journey. But then I have to restrict myself um, with let's see if I can out trick myself. Uh, I would say, yeah. Mm, no, we don't want that. With everything you got. Spiritual fabric. Conclude once and for all, comma, once and for all. Let's see. Let's see. Oh boy, we don't have that much time. Let's see if I can do it. Well, yeah, okay. Let's dive into the core. Okay, you know what? I'm going to finish like this. We're going to be here tomorrow as much as we were here yesterday and as much as we were here this morning, September 18th, year 2024. My name is Haim Mizrahi, and we're here with the Hello Hello Show. This Saturday, September 21st, we are having a wonderful opening reception of 7 artists that we have that I've curated as I've been doing it for the last 27 years. You're highly and warmly invited this Saturday, September 21st at LTV Studios 4 to 7. We hope to see you. I got a minute and a half and then we're done. Let's dive into the core of our boldest commitments, where the essence of life pulses not in the clarity of light, but in the vivid spectrum of our deepest engagements. And then, here in the stark contrast between high ideas and everyday realities, the temporary pleasures give way to the raw materials that sustains us. And then we go. In this exploration, we're not seeking simple answers or easy resolutions. Instead, we confront the complex modern landscape of our inner lives. And then our path is less about reaching the final endpoint and more about celebrating the ongoing intensity of our commitment. And then, in embracing this full spectrum, we discover that the essence of our lives is not found in retreat, but in bold engagement. And then we say, ending that we affirm the enduring integrity and brilliance of our existence here, all is resolved in the radiant clarity of our most profound commitments. Hey, much love to you. Thank you for your patience. And we will see you soon.